Okay, let's make sure that this is going to launch. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Cronecast at the Rising Moon. It's time for the Spirit Guide Monthly. This is December's Spirit Guide Monthly. I'm waiting for it to launch on YouTube.
Okay,
so
let's make sure.
Shut me up. Welcome back to the Cronecast at the Rising Moon. My name is Elaine, and on this channel, I do pick a card readings. I do astrological readings by the sign, by the month. I also do active candle magic readings. Haven't been able to do that in a while. I'm looking forward to getting back to it in a little bit. I have a new video coming out on Monday. It is Spill the Tea, Who's Talking About Me. It was a lot of fun to shoot, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm giving you a little bit of time with the piles. We have 4 piles and a pick a card. This is for the collective. This is for December. We're going to see what's coming up in 4 different groups. As usual, I have about 8 million different oracle cards because that's how I roll. All right. Hopefully that was enough time. Pick your pile, see which one really calls out to you. The light's going on now. And now you have the traditional bad zone. There you go. And hopefully everything will stay in frame and everything will stay tight. All right, back to Spliddle. All right, let's see. It takes about 10 seconds for the feed to catch up with me. So hopefully I've got it in the right position, but if I don't, I'll just have to adjust it. All right, my tabletops are all ready to go as well. I carved those out practically with a chisel to make sure that they were being picked up on camera. Hey guys, I think I got it the first time. It's a miracle. All right. The She Who deck is the Oracle deck on top. I'm sure I'm going to get questions about what deck that is. It is actually in French, so it's Q-U-I. My French is atrocious, and that's the only time I will attempt to pronounce it in French. How is everybody? I hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful month. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving as well, if you celebrate. Let's get going. Your predictive spread is being brought to you by the Nordic deck. For anybody who's new here, I gained a bunch of followers since last month. Thank you and welcome. I'm glad to have absolutely everybody. If it's just my regular people, I'm glad to see you too. But I appear in all of the Spirit Guide Monthlies. The videos I've been putting up have been just on the cards. Because I have a healers collective, it's kind of important to interact occasionally. So that's why I'm on camera for the monthly. Timestamps are going to be edited in after the broadcast, directly after. I have 4 piles. Hopefully you've picked your pile. We're starting with pile number 1. Let's get going with your oracle cards. I have the Angel Answers card and your fortune cookie card, which we do at the end. The premise behind this is if you have a question I have not answered, hopefully this card will. And then the fortune cookie card is just kind of like a dessert. Okay. From the She Who deck, you have She Who Becomes, Eterna, Metamorphosis, Transcendence, and Journey. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck, very much about female empowerment. Of course, we all contain masculine and feminine energies. We have headed back into a matriarchal energy for about the next 20 years, so it seemed a little appropriate. All right, so we've got transitioning, transformation, loss from the quantum oracle. Don't invest in that overly. The honoring path. The honoring path is where you are called to do something that puts you in the limelight. It can also be about teaching others, guiding others, sharing your experiences in a way that benefits others. It can be doing something like this. It can be doing something like teaching. The honoring path is when your life's purpose is to interact with others in a beneficial to them way. All right, let's go. We have, regeneration, metamorphosis, regeneration. Remember, whenever we lose something, it is making space for something new to come into our lives. And then I have Treasure Island. So that's excellent. The honoring path, Treasure Island, loss and regeneration. I wonder if that loss is from the past or coming up. Let's find out. Be true to yourself. Group number 1, you're off to a rip-roaring start here. With adversity, I accept the challenges. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. Hey guys, I don't know if you recall, but for a while I was talking about a COVID variant that was going to show up in November. It didn't show up in the November read. Well, it just showed up in the news about 4 days ago. So everybody, please be very careful. Take good care of yourselves. Plenty of water, wash your hands, wear your masks. Lovebirds, passionate declarations can lead to love. You have an interesting energy so far, group number 1. The adversity card could be the greater world. Let's keep going. We'll find out. This is from the Shaman's Oracle, Vanishing Mirror, Ego Sublimation. This is the hardest thing to do, is to let go of the idea that we know what it is. Sometimes we get very attached to things because of old wounds. We're trying to solve old wounds through like the things that we acquire. Sometimes it's numbing, sometimes it's escapism, sometimes it's a relationship or a job. They'll kind of like boost us up and make us feel a little bit better about ourselves. Ego sublimation is about surrendering to the journey. I do have a video planned for how do I surrender, because surrender is the hardest thing. When you have had to survive as much as the people in my collective have a tendency to have survived, it can be almost like counterintuitive, because the only way that you're still here has been to fight, 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 and never get. Surrendering is not about not doing anything. Surrendering is about going with the flow, accepting that if there has been a roadblock, if there has been a difficulty, there is a purpose behind it. I don't even want to talk about my day yesterday, but wow, was it ever testing the whole, like, I hope you develop patience, and I did pretty well with it. Vanishing Mirror, Ego Sublimation. This is a beautiful, beautiful deck as well. That is part of the honoring path. See, the loss card, I think that's what that has to do with. Llama from the Animal Oracle deck. Let courage lead you to seek support and overcome a fear of intimacy. All right. And then I have set your intentions. Your Oracle cards are just everywhere. She who becomes, metamorphosis, regeneration, loss with ego sublimation. You're being asked to surrender to the divine will thus far. And it looks like it does have to do with your vocation, with gain in that. And then the lovebirds, of course, is a hint at a relationship. So let's get going and see what we've got. I love this deck. It's the Nordic Magical deck. Absolutely beautiful. It's all of the artwork. And part of the reason I have so many different decks is, by the way, when I'm always talking about, hey, like, don't mess with fairies, they are not what people think they are. Like, all of these fairies that talk about decks that really talk about fairies are actually talking about something called spirits of air. And spirits of air are almost exactly like angels, and in fact are interchangeable sometimes. They're the messengers of air as well. And so what I do when I'm doing this, when I'm selecting ones, is I'm just trying to tune into the energy of what a particular pile or a particular client needs. And this particular deck has just beautiful, but very vibrant and simplistic images that still carry a lot of weight with them. And they're not the stereotypical artwork around the Rider-Waite, not that there's a thing wrong with that. It's just there's a lot to grab onto and develop from. Let's go for December 2021. What is coming up for pile number one, for group number one? Okay. Beg your pardon, guys. All right, Nine of Swords in the upright with the Ace of Pentacles in the upright. I like the Ace of Pentacles. That's a success card. It's the crossing situation. The Nine of Swords is, of course, like that. It's frequently an ego-driven fear, actually. Quite frequently, we tie ourselves up in knots trying to solve something that if we're just able to kind of relax and go with the flow, we see what was meant to happen with it. Life does require effort. It's a really hard balance to strike. You have to kind of follow your guidance. Judgment in reverse, the beginning of a new karmic cycle. Nine of Cups in reverse in the recent past. That's a disappointment. Seven of Swords in reverse, though, is clarity, truth. Sometimes it is the lone wolf card, the needing to stand out amongst others. With the Page of Pentacles in the upright, that's okay. High Priestess in the upright. King of Wands in the upright. This can be, we had some earth sign energy, Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. I don't really call out the astrological implications simply because I'm an empathic and an intuitive reader. So I go by personality traits more. It really looks like your creativity is flowing tremendously, but there's something that's very concerning for you. Of course, the King of Wands can be fire sign energy. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Queen of Pentacles in reverse is an anxiety card. That's in the hopes and fears, though. You've got some fears to overcome in December, group number one. With a Hierophant in reverse, that's a non-conforming card, thinking outside the box, not being wedded to tradition, letting things develop for you as they are meant for you. That might have to do with this ego sublimation and the surrender cards that you're also getting. Quite simply because we can be very attached to what other people think of us or how we're judged by others. The way our world judges success is it's not a good way to approach it. Success is not money and it's not prestige. It is living a life of purpose, one in which you are happy, one in which you feel the flow of the universe. Quite frequently, it does involve money because abundance is one of the things that makes us very comfortable within this life. The non-conforming card of the Hierophant in reverse is often somebody who gives advice in a non-traditional manner. The world of therapy is moving more and more towards a more dynamic way of helping people. One of the reasons people like the type of tarot that I do is it's healing tarot. We can look at the past, the present, and the future of a situation. And it helps people get to their answers more rapidly. Okay, the Empress in reverse. You've got the High Priestess in the upright, the Empress in reverse with the Hierophant in reverse. That's a resourcefulness card. Eight of Swords in the upright. Feeling trapped, not seeing a path forward. It can be about being doubtful as well. This is, let's see, hi. Let's see, Five of Swords in the upright. I just want to let you know it's not a live reading event, but you're not here for that, which is good. Cool. Glad to have you here. Five of Swords in the upright. Yeah. Five of Wands in reverse, download codes. Okay, so what are download codes? When we get one in the upright like that, one in reverse, that is about achieving a certain level of understanding within all numerological repetitions have a meaning. The fives are about change. They're about managed change. Remember, like never fear change. It's the only way for things to get better. But with that ego sublimation card, you may have had trouble embracing that idea, going towards the change which is best for you, particularly if it didn't suit the structure that you were told to rely upon. I have the Chariot in reverse. Boy, you're bringing something to the end, an end to bring something like new to the fore. You're getting called towards the Page of Pentacles is a student's card, learning more. It's going to be about a more esoteric form of delivering information. Interesting. Knight of Swords in reverse. Okay, so this is an internal psychic area. The Knight of Swords in reverse is frequently about needing to deal with anger. I'm always going on and on about learning patience. It's because patience is power. If you have patience, you have everything. You can wait for your magic to manifest rather than showing like more and more magic at it, more and more energy at it. You trust your magic, you go forward. If something isn't working out, you trust that it will. If you believe that you are a powerful person within your own life, patience comes fairly easily when you view it that way. It is not about sitting around and waiting. If you hear the word patience and you go, oh God, you're actually reacting to the concept of patience with impatience. So that's not patience. Patience is peaceful. Patience is powerful as well. It's also the key thing for good and strong relationships. It's also keeping you from being a reactive person and allowing you to respond, not react, which is key in relationships. And the Four of Cups in reverse is something happening behind the scenes with the Page of Cups in the upright. Okay, so group number one, this is a fun spread so far. I think I want 1, 2, 3 more. Yeah. Okay, Nine of Wands in the upright, Strength card in the upright, Death card in the upright, Two of Pentacles in the upright. Okay, so Scorpio energy, Leo energy, the Nine of Wands, good boundaries. You are going to be called upon to have fairly good boundaries with an acquaintance. It comes through work, somebody who just presses and presses. Learning how to say no without like self-recrimination. Remember, and like I go through this all the time. I have a lot of readers who are clients and watch this channel as well. It can be a really hard thing. People press you to do things for them, and just learning to say no appropriately because it, otherwise it depletes you. And I've got a little bit of that. Like coming up towards the holidays, it looks like you're going to have strong boundaries around some people who they're used to you being very accommodating. You have really good balanced energy, but it comes at a cost. And one of these situations where you have to say no, I believe it is to someone who, like a likely Leo, it doesn't have to be, but this person is very confident. They're not domineering. They're actually like really charismatic. You're going to have to put something off and they're going to put some pressure on you. Deal with the anger that like comes up after that, because like there's a little bit of pressure put on you that you're not really, you overcome it easily, but like it leaves a little dent. Don't just ignore it. Go ahead and examine it. It doesn't have anything to do with disliking this person. You actually like the person quite a bit. And that's part of the reason that you're going to have a little bit of trouble processing some anger and releasing it. You're much happier in December than you have been in the bulk of 2021. You have the beginning of new things, both in work and in relationships. I have a potential new relationship. That could be with, no, it's a different Leo. It's a different Leo. The King of Wands is somebody who it's creation, manifestation, inspiration, but it's the queens gestate things, the kings bring them into being. And this can be somebody who has an ardent interest in you. It can be somebody who is helping things come to be, or it could simply be the energy of imagination and exuberance. I think that's what's going on here, is that like you feel more connected to a variety of things in your life in December, meaning like you've settled into this kind of like, I just can't even figure this stuff out. Who knows what's going to happen, around several instances in your life, both personal and professional. And you're going to feel more directed in December, particularly by like there's a lot of goddess energy around this. The High Priestess and the Empress are two sides of the feminine divine. The High Priestess is like this deep knowing, intuitive, mysterious. It can be secrets. I'm not seeing anything that supports it around that. There's more work that goes into your own intuitive abilities, and you receive more. This Queen of Swords in reverse is about having a clear and open channel. There's a period of your life that is over, and it's not a bad period. Hey, my dog's going to start coughing like a crazy thing because that's what she does. I apologize. It's always delightful when she's making that sound, and clients are like on the other side of this. I'm sorry. She's 13. She doesn't have the best lungs anymore. Let's see. So boundaries are very important. There are new beginnings in a professional and a personal capacity, and you're like, it's like your pilot light is lit again, and it hasn't been for like 3 months. Like there came a point at which like something took like over 3 months to manifest, and you kept being told it was going to, and by the time it finally happened, you were like, oh God, is anything actually true? Is everything just going to take 3 times as long as they told me? No, it's simply that you kept getting the message beforehand because there was a lesson that you were trying to lean in on and learn. It may have been releasing anger from the past. Hey, listen, part of the thing that made me laugh when I put that card down is, and I'm not laughing at the concept, by the way, not at all. This happens to be the card for murder. And the Knight of Swords in reverse is one of the cards that denotes a murder. And there's no murder here. There's no murder here. But it is that kind of out of control impulsivity is what the Knight of Swords in reverse means. And that's the thing that you're overcoming. This is the internal psychic influence, is the area that tells me how you're going to feel about all of this. And there are certain things at the beginning of the month that kind of cheese you off. It has to do with the greater world. And somebody that you knock heads with on a fairly regular basis, like coming down on a side of an argument, and they're entrenched in it, but it's senseless. And you feel that kind of anger rising up. Reach for that try not to judge energy. Meaning that like nobody's ever been shamed into changing their mind. Ask the Catholic Church. Sincerely, shame doesn't do anything. Listen, try to understand. Don't try and make anybody feel stupid if you're correcting them. And you never do, but you're somebody who's very good with your words. And keep that part in mind. When you're good with your words and talking to people who are maybe less articulate, it can feel shaming. Try to be warm and accessible, and you'll get farther with this because this person comes around. And I'm not sure what the argument is about, but it's within the first week of December, and they're dug in like a little kid on something. And you're very, like, you're tempted with this fractious energy, this kind of like energy, to just kind of remove their face. Essentially, you're really pretty angry. Stop, examine what's really making you angry. It's not that person. It's something behind it that is, it's triggering something for you. Once you recognize it, it's actually very helpful in releasing it and setting you free from an old pattern. So that's one of the ways in which you're changing and leveling up in the month of December. I want this lovebirds energy, which is not showing. Well, I do have I have a flirtation with the Page of Cups in the upright. Maybe that Scorpio energy has been around forever is the thing. Oh, patience. Patience. Slow down, change your attitude, and clear your mind. I swear that is just what I was just saying about the situation coming up in, I believe it is a social, but like, it's not a friend situation. It could be somebody that you work with, but like there is a professional friendship that goes along with that. You do bring them around eventually, but just sincerely remember, don't go in guns blazing. Listen, feel that anger response. Don't let it out of your mouth. Just like recognize it as like, oh, there's something there, isn't it? Wait until you're alone and just kind of examine. Journaling is an incredibly important part of self examination. It helps you. Half the role of therapy is hearing what we say to a therapist. If you're journaling out and you go back like a week later, a lot of the times you'll find guide messages in there because they're helping to like accentuate something. All right, let's get going here. Do I have anything else? I have really good money energy around this. Don't forget all of the astrological readings. There's a love reading and then there's a money reading as well. So if something isn't addressed in this particular reading, go to those and it'll give you an update on those very particular areas of your life. This is more about the struggle going forward, trying to work in a mentorship or a healing capacity. One of the things that you're being asked to resolve is some lingering impatience that is actually related to anger. There will be a situation, like I said, in the first week that will give you an opportunity to examine that. When don't respond, don't like sincerely just kind of shut that down and recognize it as like, well, that's coming like really strong, like a freight train. It seems like it's not really related to this. Hold your tongue, listen. The less that you say, the more the person will listen to you when you revisit it about 10 days later. And you will have by then resolved who that person is reminding you of. Because you haven't spotted it yet, but they're an echo. They're an echo trying to help you find something from the past to resolve it. Again, with that ego, letting go of the ego. Ego's not bad. We are who we are for a reason, and our desires are pointing us towards the things that sometimes need to be healed. The things that are holding us back in our interpersonal and professional relationships sometimes relate back to these very core, the things that establish that personality is related to the ego. And you're not being asked to become a different person. You're just being asked to examine your response around this to find the origin point. And it will not change you. It'll just make you steadier. Like in all things, when calamity, when catastrophe, when just mild difficulty arises, that steadiness of finding out that like that initial frustration and anger response is not actually related to that time and place, but rather a fear of something that went wrong that you could not control at a different point in your life. When you start recognizing that, it will be so much easier to not like take the battery packs out of that. All right, I have answering the call. The time is now. Listen, hey, group number one, for whatever reason, it's go time for you on your life's purpose. The karma card is the judgment card in reverse. The judgment card is the Archangel Gabriel's card. That is the spirit of air. That is what I channel for. That is what I'm attached to. When we get it in reverse like that, the start of a new karmic cycle has begun. Particularly for, we just had the full moon in Taurus. There's a bunch of people who like, we had to release a bunch of things, particularly if you're a Taurus on Taurus. There's some old energy that was leaving us and kind of like coming off in layers in the days afterwards. If you've been a little bit all over the map, and you don't have to be a Taurus, but if you've been all over the map since about the 19th, there is a reason you are shedding something almost like a skin. It comes up in December. It's a good month though. Like there's no strain around this. There's a little bit of emotional processing. you have any family gatherings or anything that need to be addressed here? Adversity, lovebirds. Okay, so for people in relationships, the situation that I was just describing with a work colleague, there may be something that's a little similar to that, where like it's called a disproportionate response and you're not being scolded for it at all. It's just if you figure out why is it disproportionate, then it stops happening. And you're happier, you have greater resolution in relationships as well. Let's go for the Lantern Oracle to see if there's anything else on that. Is there anything else I need to know for group number 1? I'm going to get energy cards. I'm going to get some enchanted map cards. I'm going to get a romance angel because I am an Oracle card addict. All right, here we go. I love Oracle cards. I think they're incredibly good at clarifying tarot reads as well. If you are a beginner in divination, this is the Energy Oracle by Sandra Taylor, I believe. It's linked in my Amazon store below. It's the best beginner deck for anybody. I start people on that before I start them on tarot. Okay, you got 3 Lantern Oracles. Transitions. You have all the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridges arise on your path. Transition, regeneration, adversity. You're getting a little tested with loss. You're getting just a little tested. It's for a good reason. Intention. Lacking personal direction begets confusion and life is a pawn to someone else's game of chess. That entire, like, why am I reacting? Why am I reacting more strongly? That disproportionate response. Find what is causing that and you gain the power. It's that simple. Assistance with access. It is necessary to ask for and accept help in order to receive it. This is not a real world energy. This is about, remember, and I'm always telling people this, but I repeat it so often because people don't understand it. You have to ask your guides and guardian angels for assistance. Otherwise, it is interfering with your free will. Now, they will do it if your life's on the line. Otherwise, ask for guidance, ask for clarity, ask for to be shown the path. Sometimes we're denied answers that we want because, and empaths are very prone to anxiety because we feel things very, very deeply. Anxiety is the opposite of patience because it's that fear of the future, When you understand I am the best tool that I have to take down any foe, any obstacle, any hurdle in my path, then you can stop being afraid of the future because as long as you have you have your solution. That excess mental energy is actually meant to be directed outwards in a creative, sometimes in a helping manner. When you are able to address the underlying issue for something like anxiety, that will engender patience. Patience allows greater clarity around your answers as well, and you don't get second guess them as much. All right, so what else have we got here? Let's get an female enchanted maps. Anything else for group number 1? This is an interesting month for you of continuing to evolve and level up in access to information. There is good money energy around it, but it's interesting to me because it's a lack of strain. Listening. Woo. Okay, what else do we have? Listening is, like, quite frankly, listening to guidance, listening to advice. Peaks of Joy, Mountain, and then Golden Palace. Okay, let's put that in the other direction. Listening, Mountain, Peaks of Joy, and then Golden Palace. Please listen. Like, I know we're all tired of the word patience. If you're having a negative reaction to the word patience, that is indicative of the fact that you really need to learn it. And patience is absolutely everything in manifestation. It just is. It means that you won't accidentally tie things in energetic knots, repeatedly trying to make something happen. Mountain is figuring out a way around something. Hey, that's that conflict that I saw. Now that can be in a work area, or again, I've got something around people in relationships as well, where if you feel like you've been having the same argument over and over again, stop, pause, do not react, figure out where it's really coming from. Because there's more coming to that table than that particular, like there's an unmet need in a relationship to cause that. And sometimes in like the things that trigger us in other people are quite frankly the things that we recognize in other people that we don't like about ourselves sometimes. Golden Palace is increase in wealth. I've got that with the honoring path. It is a great month for advancement in your chosen fields. please try to tap in, listen to guidance a little bit more. When it comes to adversity, try to lean in on surrender, because surrender is trust. That is the other thing about patience. If you can learn patience, then you will trust that the divine is coming through for you. And I was just talking to somebody the other day about how they always seem to come through at the very last minute. And like sometimes there's a deadline. So it's not just like, well, of course they do, because that ends the situation. There is a reason for that kind of thing. It is trying to help, like, hey, if you believe, if you are really willing to invest in, I will be guided, the answers that are meant for me are coming to me. Sometimes we get fixated on something that is not for us. Like it can be a job, it can be a person, it can be a situation, it can be a resolution. And I will give you an example that involves me. Like when I was in the middle of a not very nice divorce battle, I kept asking my guides, it's like, well, like, geez, why don't you do something and end it? Because I needed to end it. Like part of my healing was fighting back and winning. And that's why I wasn't getting the assistance that I have, quite frankly, been able to count on my entire life. And it was very flummoxing to me. It's like, wow, this is really like, I can make almost anything happen. Why can't I make this happen? Because I needed to regain a feeling of my own agency, my own power, and my own autonomy. All right, so we've got she who becomes, metamorphosis, lean in on releasing anger to learn patience. Your psychic gifts are trying to develop for you. By the way, one of the ways that they want to communicate with you more is through your dreams. Don't forget guided meditations that you're falling asleep to, or like Jason Stevenson, Meditative Mind, Healing Vibrations are all great ones to fall asleep to. You could do your balancing work and shielding work as you sleep as well. If your mind's a little too active, you can kind of, that mountain card, work around it by doing your work in a subconscious state. Hey, let's get your angel answers and fortune cookie card. Oh, I didn't get your romance angel. I did that to group number 1 last month too. I'm so sorry. Here we go. Let's get a romance angel. We're like, yeah, nothing happened. Okay, here we go. Let's go for group number 1. Can I get a romance angel for group number 1? Is there anything that they need to know? I don't think I got your energy cards either. I'm sorry. There we go. I will get those first. I swear to God, that just said free yourself. Take back control of your life. That's the card that flipped in my face. But we're going to put it down in 3. This is 2. And this is 3. Let's find out. All right. Passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Hey, listen. One of the enemies of passion, joy, in like celebrating your life, exuberance, is that anger. Now, if you're like, hey, like I'm not a rage ball, I'm not saying you are. I'm saying that it is an erosive and a corrosive energy. And anger is not bad. Anger can be protective. This is not that type of anger. It is related to old wounds. Look for the old wound. Identifying the source of pain is halfway to healing it. And you can live in a clear and a sort of powerful energy once you've healed things. Let's go for your energy cards. Is there anything else for pile number 1? What else do they need to know? What else do they need to know? And then we'll move on to pile number 2. Here we go. Don't forget it. Please subscribe if you haven't. I would really appreciate it. It helps my channel. If you like the reading, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to book me for a private reading, I have very limited availability through the end of the year, but I love to read for people from YouTube. Check out my website and it will have when I'm available again. Go to personal healing and happiness. Healing one last thing, then you're going to be uber super powerful. With the Archangel Raphael, that's a healer's card, and victory. I do not read these in the reverse. I do not read any oracle cards in the reverse. I do obviously read tarot in the reverse. You have one last thing. You are receiving divine assistance. It is to help make you happy, more joyful. When you are more joyful, your creativity will return. You've been trying to like unearth it. You've been trying to go after it and find ways to, it's like, I must enjoy my life. You're commended for your efforts. It will become less full of effort. It will be effortless once again. There is something that is triggering old anger, and you have not identified it because you don't feel comfortable with the source of the anger. Don't judge yourself on that. That's why judgment is such a, like, we're supposed to release it for ourselves and for others. If you can stop judging yourself and being hypercritical, because that's a program voice that comes to you from the past, that 8 of Swords you have in the upright. Sometimes where some of us are from a generation where we had parents who thought they could make better people out through criticism. And so we've got these very critical voices in our head. And sometimes it wasn't about them trying to be good parents. Some people just were taking out their pain on their kids. Some had good intentions, some didn't. We can still overcome them. We can still take control of our own narrative. Find the source of the pain and you'll find your freedom and your power. Big happy changes. Happy. And then planning. Now is the time to lay down the foundation for your future. Financial gains are more than likely. This is weird. I very much got the sense around that. There was no money stream in that pile. Like no money stream. It's not that I saw a windfall. It's almost like it was becoming something that would fade to the back of your mind because there's no strain involved with it any longer. All right, group number 1, that was your reading. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm moving on to group number 2 now. I will edit in timestamps after the broadcast, directly after, I believe. Hopefully this guy is showing up on camera. I practically had a tattoo gun for it. This is the She Who deck. I'm really enjoying it. It is a matriarchal female empowerment energy, but of course it's not gender specific. All right, I have She Who is Wild, Untamed, Wild, Mysterious. Well, this might be fun. Let's go. Peace. Wild peace. Teacher. Okay. Okay. Deep knowing. All right, I'm going to pause here and tell you what I just got. Learning to control reactions is apparently going to be a little bit the theme here. You are moving towards expansion with ease. Joy is going to come to you more easily. One of the things that will actually aid joy, which we think of this as this very spontaneous thing, but it can be kind of an underlying condition, just approaching life with interest and excitement. Peace and patience are directly related. Patience and peace are both the antidotes essentially to anxiety. You are trying to teach yourself a better way of reacting. And there's a part of you that believes that it means that you're going to have this very kind of staid and placid existence. You will not. If anything, it unlocks passion, because not like all of our emotions, it's almost like they're fighting to get out and be known in their original sense. They get tangled in our underlying and old issues. And so whenever we have an emotion, it's dragging stuff up from the past. When you can look at it and go, that's that baggage, that's this wound that I can heal, then you start to experience the emotion in a more productive manner. And that can be joy. It can also be anger. And I was just covering that with the last file. Anger is not negative. It can be protective. It's one of the things that helps reinforce boundaries. And it's not that explosive, where you burn somebody's face off with the strength of your response. It is that anger that tells you somebody has crossed into my sacred ground, and you don't have to take out a bazooka to get them out of there, but you feel that spark and you know, okay, I'm uncomfortable. I need to tell people to step back, and you can do so at a very appropriate level and have better friendships, better relationships, better progress in all areas. Buy the book, Deep Knowing, and buy the book. All right. That's for some people who are trying to develop divination art. If you're not keeping a tarot journal, then it's a good idea. One of the things that I do at the very beginning of the day is I pull a full draw, a full Celtic cross, that modified one that I do in my bedroom every morning. And it tells me what the energies of the days are. And again, that psychic window tells me how I'm going to feel about it. And I can go back at the end of the day, and it helps expand my understanding of the cards still to this day. Even though I do this professionally, I can start adding in more and more. When it's like, oh, at the end of the day, I cannot read for myself. But at the end of the day, I can go back and be like, okay, that was clearly denoting that. This was clearly denoting that, and expands my basically lexicon of meaning for the cards. If you are trying to expand your ability to read, journaling is not wasted. And you can do more than one card and do it exactly that way. Do a 3-card draw with an energy card, and don't expect it to tell you what's going to happen. Don't look at it that way. Look at it as like, okay, those are the cards for today. And at the end of the day, you go back and revisit it. You can take a picture on your phone so you don't forget. If you're really anti-journaling, that's cool. Not everybody likes to write. Go back and look at it, and you will be able to suss out, to find and examine what the energies were that were being denoted by those cards. It'll strengthen your connection. It'll strengthen your ability. It'll strengthen your confidence in your ability as well. We all have our answers within. It can be difficult to access them. Forgiveness. Acknowledging that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Forgiveness is so difficult to achieve if you are dealing with abuse or any type of like almost crime committed against you. How do you forgive that which is like, that's not really all that forgivable? Because forgiveness is not anything to do really with the other person. It's not approaching somebody and being like, hey, you're welcome back. I forgive you for what you did. It is, think of it like an accountant. If there is a debt on the books, they can forgive it and it is taken away from the books. So nothing is still owed. There is no energetic absence there. That's what forgiveness is. If you are able to let something go, forgiveness implies like this, we're making amends type of thing. And it doesn't have to. It is just releasing the negative energy around. We can be very badly wronged sometimes and never receive an apology. Don't go forth with the energy of anger and resentment, because that's just inside of you coloring everything in your world. Forgive for you, not for what the other person did. And sometimes it really will be terrible and unforgivable things. And the best thing that you can do is simply say, I love me. I deserve not to feel like this, so I will forgive you. Okay. Hanging parrot. Gain knowledge by surrendering to the universal flow. I just mentioned to the other group, I have a video coming up about how to surrender. And surrender is the toughest thing for people who have had to be, I attract starseeds, light workers, healers, light warriors, and light commanders. And all of those people, particularly at the tail end of that, have had to fight in order to keep going. And so surrender is like, it seems antithetical. It's like, how in the world do I do that when I'm only here because I kept fighting? That is your perception. It is your perception, and it is quite frequently the reality that you just kept peeling yourself up off the floor and going forward, but the divine was always there. Try to trust that if things worked out through your extreme effort, that they worked out because you also had something on your side. And start trusting that, start trusting the flow of things, and don't overinvest in the difficulties of a moment. We are not meant to have these unvaried existences. There has to be energetic balance. That's why I'm always saying that the law of manifestation, as it is taught, has a flaw in it. We have to have energetic balance. And when we do magic, the energy comes from another area of our life. That is why the best tip I can ever give you for prosperity magic is give. Make a plan for the things that you will do that are good and kind and charitable. And that creates that energetic exchange, that energetic flow. You are paying the universe back with your intent when you make that plan. And does it matter if you're making the plan so that you can have prosperity? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. The good that you do is your intent will change over the course of time as you have better results from it. But there has to be flow, and there has to be a counterbalancing dark energy. Trying to cut ourselves off from that just causes repression, and then it causes these things like buried rage and things. Gain knowledge by surrendering to the universal flow. Caterpillar, opportunity. What's going to happen here? Forgiveness, opportunity, peace, teacher. You're teaching yourself this thing. Rhinoceros, still the chatter within to see your true path in life. Oh, you got a lot of messages of surrender. Group number 2, ask for guidance. I think I started this whole readout with, please remember, we need to ask our spirit guides, our angels, our ancestors to help us, to guide us, to give us the path, and to help us through difficulties sometimes. And sometimes we have to accept that it's like, okay, I understand that that difficulty was trying to teach me a lesson so that I could be more powerful. If you are lost, if you are stuck, if there is something that you cannot overcome and you're like, but I've tried and I've tried and I've tried, why isn't this working? Ask for help and for guidance in how to surrender to the flow, because the resistance that we put up, that's why I'm always on and on about patience. When we hear the word patience, if you have a bad reaction to it, that's impatience. I just told the last group this. That is a blocking energy. Think of everything associated with impatience: anger, frustration, the feeling that time is being wasted. These are all negative and blocking energies. Patience is receptive. Everything comes to us when we inhabit patience, and has nothing to do with waiting. It can, because it does mean that you're like, oh, well, if it's not here yet, it's not the time for it. But for the most part, it's about receptivity. All right, let's go. Let's go. Remember, falling asleep to guided meditations. If you do not meditate well, meditation is greatly misunderstood. It has nothing to do with needing to clear your mind and sit in a lotus position and have your chakras in alignment. It can help and aid it. But a lot of people, I meditate very well in open-eyed settings, particularly working out as I'm spilling off. If you have all of this extra energy, mental energy in there, very powerful people too, you need to be able to spill it off somehow. So house cleaning, housework, exercise class, or like, again, don't be afraid to like lie down and meditate. Your chakras, energy is a lot more adaptable than we think of it as being. Let's go, let's go, let's go. This is the Crow deck. It's my magical energy stack. I love these guys. I haven't been able to use my big decks because I've been doing, filming on the cards. So I keep getting these smaller and smaller decks so I can have more of them because I use so many cards. Page of Pentacles in the upright, student's card, learning lessons, going towards things, the start of something new potentially in work as well. Did you just get that opportunity? Yeah. With the star, yay, that's the Aquarius card. This is also Aquarius season, but it's also, it can be a social media star, but it can also be hope and light in the darkness and psychic services and receiving psychic gifts. It can also be about being starseed. Knight of Cups in reverse. Oh, you are a frustrated human. Okay. With the Ace of Swords in reverse, Six of Cups in the upright, Seven of Swords in the upright, King of Pentacles in reverse. I associate this particular card with insecurity, with frustration, but particularly with depression. Justice in reverse. Are you out of balance? Four of Pentacles in the upright. Queen of Wands in reverse, still more growl. The Queen of Wands is compelling and commanding and usually is able to make things happen. Queen of Wands in reverse is either feeling less than powerful or very powerful people. Quite frequently, we do everything in big things. So if you're able to make things happen, that means you have a lot of energy and power behind you. But that also means that you can have great highs and great lows. And that particular energy is about this frustration energy. I don't think something was given to you yet, and you're just not dealing well. Oh my goodness, with the Ten of Swords in reverse, which is processing and releasing trauma, and the Devil in the upright. Moon in reverse, clarity. Six of Swords in reverse, something returning to you. Nine of Swords in the upright. This is a fairly difficult energy. Meaning that there's processing around achieving peace and learning more. It's like your exam time or something on some energetic challenges. You're going to rise to them every single time. Try not to worry. Page of Wands in the upright. Remember, this is the area that tells me how you will feel about the rest of this. Five of Swords in the upright. The Hanged Man in the upright. Okay. The Chariot in reverse, Ace of Cups in reverse, Wheel of Fortune in reverse. It's the greater world. Okay. Sudden seek hidden treasure, forgiveness. I want you again. Still the chatter within to see your true path in life. All of these energies here, you are there's an opportunity for you within the month of December to resolve to release a former version of you entirely, to turn around and walk away. And it's not the same thing as forgetting your past. It's just you can remember things without them having emotional access to you. You can remember things and have happy memories without them impeding upon the future. Group number 2, I have this healing energy, but it's a little bit of a roller coaster ride around it. The Seven of Swords is about treading carefully. It's also sometimes about approaching somebody with difficult news. There's my dog's going to start coughing again. That is the Nine of Cups. Divine timing is driving you up a tree. And it's because there's still some trauma to release from a past relationship. Now, the Devil card can be the Capricorn card. Oh, okay. Okay. You might be a little frustrated in your romantic life. And do some sacral chakra work. Do some sacral chakra work. That's going to be like the uptick of this. This is not real world happening. This is the energetic furor within sometimes. Sacral chakra balancing work will help you with that. Particularly like go to sleep field. I'm always telling people that when you have a very active mind, it can be very difficult to meditate. Leave them on at night. By the way, please remember, when you are doing release videos, because the whole ignite your passion for life, ignite your passion for being here, ignite your passion for everything around you. If you are doing a release energy for like a sacral chakra, because that can contain anger, passions, of course, can run high and tempers hot. Remember the next day, watch your emotional state. Sometimes you will absolutely, because that's happened to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I did sacral balancing last night. No wonder, because it will help you purge things. It will help you purge things. You have a little bit of formative damage left to release. The overall like energy of the world is good for you. Like there's not a ton happening. You find you probably have seasonal affective disorder because you're battling it. Like you're battling the whole, which is when the light, like there's less light, you have less energy, you feel more depressed. People don't understand that depression actually fuels anger as well. Do that sacral chakra work. It might cause you a little bit of like a blip here and there, particularly in the first 2 times you do it. Like you really might be like, man, I'm a rage ball the next day. It is releasing something from you so that you no longer have to carry it. That's what's keeping a manifestation from being brought to you. I think it might have to do with partnership, with a divine partnership, I think. You've got the power. Use your ability to resolve the situation. You can do it. This is a summer card. I don't think it has anything to do with this, other than a new growing season. Use your abilities to resolve the situation. You can do it. If you are sick to death of the divine timing card, the justice card in reverse, by the way, can be divine timing is like over its time. It's perfect time. It's not a punishment. If you have been held back from a relationship after a series of difficult relationships so that you can resolve the difficulties of the past, it is so that we don't accidentally reenact those energies with new characters. If you do not resolve it, then you repeat it. And so you are being asked to resolve a tendency towards protecting your feelings with like too much pushback. The way you set boundaries can be a little bit enthusiastic, and it is not simply that you have a fiery nature. It is that you've got something from the past. It should be formative, in particular, where you felt very reduced to nothing. Like somebody whoever was in your life, like you weren't ever the important person. Like your needs always came last. And the way you learned to assert yourself in your adult relationships was to get like a little big reactions got big results. And the divine pairing that's coming to you, you don't need that any longer. And it's why you're being asked to do sacral work to release it. Goals, hello. Progress is positive and personal goals will be achieved. I actually really like the look of this month. The cards are a little bit here and there. The greater world, your greater world, you're surrounded by, like, people can't travel, I think, is part of what's going on around Christmas. And they're like there's a travel restriction with that chariot in reverse. Frustrations run high. Somebody from your past is very likely they're used to being able to take something out on you. It's not that you're going to shut them down, it's that it's not going to land. That's why you're being asked to do that sacral work in the first few days of December. Like, do that in the first week. And it will, like, there is somebody in your life who, when things go wrong in their life, it's always your fault, like, even if you weren't involved. Okay, oh boy. Deceit. Oh, heavens. A woman holding a coin. Oh, I'm sorry. A woman holding a heart, a man holding a heart, and carrying connections. It could be because I do have a lies, deceit, manipulation card here. This does not look like a current relationship. Lies in the past have you mistrusting people in general. If you have a partner right now, remember, don't try your best not to bring the old energies to that table. And if you've been waiting for one, which is what this kind of suggests, you're being asked to resolve. The anger has to do with feeling deceived. And you get very angry at the divine. You get very, 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 very angry at the divine sometimes. And if you stop and you examine it, the anger is not actually at the divine. It's not. It's not. Like I can't do that work for you, but it's not. Accept that part. The next time it happens, ask where it's really coming from. Ask for guidance on it. Gain knowledge by surrendering to the universal flow, and that is the Hanged Man as well. These are very, very similar images. This is a parrot, the hanged parrot, and then the Hanged Man. Take a new perspective on something, it will for you. Let's go for a Lantern Oracle. We'll keep going here. I'll get some Enchanted Map. I won't forget your Romance Angel. I forgot group number 1's Romance Angel last month. I felt so bad about it all month long. There we go. I'm sure it happened because it wasn't meant to be, shown that month, but I felt bad about it. Let's go for group number 2. What else? What are they working on here? Is there any extra clue? See, the thing is, the deep knowing by the book, peace and teacher. You are teaching yourself how to control a response. And the reason it's so important is that you very much don't want to have the same relationship again. And it's not because you're a beast or something, it just really took it out of you. Metamorphosis. Power and strength lie within our surrender to change. Lots and lots of surrender this month. Surrender, 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 surrender. It's not giving up. It's trusting. And when you've had really bad things happen to you, it is incredibly difficult to believe that it's like, why would I trust the divine? Why did I let that happen to me? Well, most of the time, the terrible things that happen around us are due to our choices, which is not blaming. It's not victim blaming. Our guides and our guardians work with our choices, not the other way around. So the very fact that you're here and still in one piece, you're very loved and protected. But we can't be protected from our own free will. And that is why surrendering to the idea that it's like, I'm going to quit trying to force issues and into my shape, my demanded shape. I'm going to try and ask for guidance and go towards my hopes and my dreams. Go towards your dreams. And if they aren't working out, surrender to the idea that it might be yet, that there's something else that you need to do. Don't just put your shoulder to the wheel on something that you're trying to manifest and try to muscle it through. Except that it's like, there could be a really good reason. And like, here's an example that like, I like to use me because that way nobody can ever feel accused. When I was looking for an office in this area, I originally was going to open a store because that's actually what I wanted to do, is open a magic store with like a bunch of tarot decks and readings and things. And like, I couldn't find the space and I finally got an office instead. And then COVID came. It would have been the worst time in the entire world to open that business. But at the time, I did not know that. I was just like, okay, well, I guess I'll just do this much smaller thing, even though you very much told me to do the other thing. And the timing was not right. It just wasn't right. All right, I have follow the leader. You are a leader is the thing. With rock bottom, starting again, sacred pool. Sacred pool is a card of self-love and self-care, and then encouragement. Magic prayer. I know that was a lot to take, and there is a reason. I clearly don't read cards like other people do. I'm self-taught, and there's a reason. You are heard every single time, and you are important, and you can feel like you're not because you haven't gotten the things that you want yet. It isn't quite time, and it's not a punishment. It's actually a tremendous gift. It is a tremendous gift to be so loved and so cared about by a divine force that they're like, we want you to be happy so much that we're going to hold you here in the stasis period until you have figured this stuff out. And then we're going to let you go. And everything you've ever wanted will come to you in a very perfect form that you'll get to keep. And the reason you haven't gotten to keep the things that you've always wanted before is you're still carrying forward this old damage, and it impacts the pursuits that you go towards. Heal, surrender, believe us, we're still here. That is what they would like you to know. All right. Gain knowledge by surrendering to the universal flow. All righty. I didn't get your romance angel yet. Ask for guidance. Ask for guidance. New stages are beginning. You're closing out an old one. Almost no practical stuff on December. Your practical life is just clicking along, paid by numbers. It is your spiritual journey and some challenges from some acquaintances, potential family members around that, not being able to travel. Somebody is going to try to make you feel guilty for something that is in no way your fault. It will spark anger at first, but if you can examine it and say, that person's just taking out their pain on me. It has nothing to do with me. I don't bear any responsibility here. They're coming from their own place, and just absolve yourself from, and just kind of let it wash over you. Let it go. Don't push back on it. Just kind of, and you will be fine. You will be fine. It will also, oh God, trust. This situation is calling on you to have faith. Surrender is faith. Surrender is trust. If you're struggling with surrender, you are struggling with faith. Faith is essential to magic. It's essential. You have to believe. You have to believe. And it's not about believing in the God of the Bible or believing in this or believing in that. It's whatever you believe in is the right thing for you. I very clearly am a believer. I don't really try and hide it on any level. Even the magic I do is celestial and angelic magic. Now, I don't practice any religion, but I have tremendous faith, and I have reason to. And it is the thing that and don't ever let anybody else mock what you believe. Or if they do, don't let it bother you. Okay. I don't need your approbation. Just kind of let it go. Let it go. Believe that there is, even if you haven't had a great life, that does not negate the divine. It doesn't. Things can always change for the better. And there are, I think of this all the time. People have lives that it's terrifying and horrifying and so sad. I mean, my God, there are women who are kept in a basement in Cincinnati for 10 years. And if they manage to come out of that having any faith in humanity, then certainly I can continue to have faith, even though my life is not always perfect. All right, let's go for your angel answers card. What's this going to be? Improving health. Good. And then, okay, major life change. The time is right for major life changes, as a new lifestyle or location brings great joy and a trouble-free existence. The change is within. The change is within how you think of surrender and patience, and how patience and trust and faith and the ability to manifest magic and to manifest at all are all interrelated concepts. Change the way you're viewing the idea of belief, and a lot will change for you. All right, that was group number 2. I'm moving on to group number 3. I will edit in timestamps after the broadcast. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, number 3. Here we go. This is the Oracle deck, is the She Who deck. Hey guys, I'm so glad you're able to join me. As you know, whenever I'm doing these, I'm not wearing my glasses. Now, I do wear glasses in real life, and why don't I while I'm doing this? When I started doing this, they had such a reflection off from the ring light that I was like, okay, well, nobody can see my eyes. Who wants a reader that you can't even see their eyes? And then I found that I read much better in a channeling capacity when I don't have it on. All right, She Who Stands, Valencia, resolute, implacable, determined, fortitude. Okay, so the She Who deck, it's not just about women, obviously, but we are in a matriarchal energy. If we can tap into our feminine divine, we can heal ourselves. That's why there's so much feminine energy. Ascended Masters. What's going to happen now? Conflict, Ascended Masters, conflict and Ascended Masters. This is something in the greater world, I think. Higher power with to the sea, higher power. It's going with the flow. Everybody's getting the going with the flow. Surrender, surrender, and all will come to you. Strengthen your gifts. Okay. Health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. I'm getting a lot of messages around health for December. Please take good care of yourselves. Prioritize eating well. Listen, I know I sound like a mom. I am a mom. It like to one person, but still mom. You will feel better if you have enough water in your system. You will feel better if you're eating appropriately. It's okay to gorge out on junk food. Who doesn't like to do that sometimes? Prioritize taking care of your body as if it is a gift to you. You don't, and love it no matter what it looks like, because it is the vessel that brings your divine light, your divine soul to this time and this place. We are worth more than whatever our exterior looks like. We react to people's exteriors, but we stay with them for their interiors. Never, ever forget that. Love who you are, love your body, honor your physical health. It will give you greater connection. The conflict, I think you've got some anger around something. Rhinoceros hornbill, perfect trust will be rewarded with its like. This is trust in the divine. Please don't perfectly trust people. Like they were, like even when they're not trying, that sounds terrible. Trust is something that we need to reserve a little bit of it for self-protection. You can absolutely trust somebody and still be self-protective. Perfect trust is in the divine and in ourselves, in our gifts, in our purpose, in our place in this life. In a partner, you can trust somebody from, and everybody's got their own work to do. It has nothing to do with them being untrustworthy. It's just that part of good boundaries is being able to reserve the ability to self-protect. All right. Sorry, guys. As you know, what do I have? I have allergies. I'm sorry. All right. I have the fates, skywriting the fates. After I get a health card, I'm like, excuse me, I have to wipe my constantly running nose. All right, Lion, banish loneliness by reaching out to special friends. Skywriting the fates. You have major forces working in your life. Strengthen your gifts. You've got to download to the sea. All right, let's go. Express your feelings. Oh, okay, we're gonna put this guy over here. Hey, listen, I saw this already. And so I'm gonna go ahead and say what it is. It's burnout. Your hard work will see your results, but your health needs to be maintained. So check in with your doctor, dentist, and health professional and try to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Whenever I accidentally see this, it's always for a reason. Hey, group number 3, lean in on care of the physical house. Okay, you've got like multiple warnings around health. It'll make you feel better. It'll enhance your gifts. It will help a great deal. We have the Chrysalis Tarot bringing you a predictive spread. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Highly recommend it. Get up there. You're supposed to be there. All right, let's go. Group number 3. Hey guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It does help my channel. I have new subscribers. If you're here with me, I'm so glad to have you. Let's go. And thank you for helping my channel. There we go. Let's go. Group number 3 is predictive spread. You have it's like your spirit guides are gonna be sitting on the end of your bed, man. All right, let's go. What's going on with group number 3? Okay. I want to shuffle this just a little bit more. Can I get some more for group number 3? That just didn't feel right. I'm really sorry. More times. Okay. Sorry, don't tone change. Don't worry about it. All right, 9 of Swords in the upright. The Mime. Page of Pentacles. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. Sincerely, cannot recommend it more. And just gorgeous, gorgeous colors. The 9 of Swords can be about crying and weeping and anxiety and fear. It can be about sleeplessness as well. I have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. 5 of Swords in reverse. I have the Page of Cups in reverse, which is called the Healer. This is, like I said, I love this deck. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. The Visionary. Knight of Swords in reverse. A lot of people are releasing old energies in order to move into new ones. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse, that is the external influence. It came up in a couple of other reads. Something's going on in the world. They did just find another COVID variant. I don't know if anybody remembers this. I kept talking about one that was going to show up in November. Then when I was doing the November read, I'm like, hey, it's not here. Yay. Well, it's here in the real world now. Be very, very careful. Just be very, very careful. The Wheel in reverse, I think has something to do with a new cycle beginning in the greater world. And there's a little bit of like furor around it. Okay, I have Justice in reverse with the Death card in the upright. Scorpio card, new beginnings, transitions. I have the Hermit in reverse. This is called the Storyteller in this deck. I'm clearly just in love with this deck. Nine of Pentacles in the upright, monetary increase. Seven of Cups in the upright. Two of Swords in the upright. Eight of Swords in the upright. Okay. King of Pentacles in reverse. Knight of Cups in the upright. Oh, thank goodness. King of Pentacles in the upright. The Sojourner. King of Cups in reverse. Careful, that's the Narcissist. The Page of Swords in the upright. Okay. With the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Interesting. You've got so many health warnings on this, dudes. Please take very good care of yourself. And it looks like it's around your emotional health as well. A lot is going to be asked of you because there are other people who are having a fearful reaction to something, and you are the problem solver for your friends, for your colleagues, for potentially it's what you do for work as well. People keep coming to you and asking a lot of you in December. You are being asked to maintain your health just as much as you humanly can. You're going to be fine monetarily. Like, you have so much coming towards you. Other people are freaking out around something. You are asked to be the voice of reason over and over again throughout the month of December. And you rise to the occasion. You do. But you have a tendency with the Six of Pentacles in reverse to run yourself ragged on behalf of other people. You are being told you're not going to be allowed to do that. Like, they will smite you with the flu to end all flus if they need to. You have to take care of yourself. You always view yourself as incidental. When things really start going down, you push yourself, you're a little punishing to yourself. And you don't think of it that way. You think, I'm strong enough to be able to do this. You are strong, but you're needed for a long time to come. You're a needed person. You're a healer. You have healing energy. I know you've been healing something for a very long time, and it feels like there's no end to that. It is almost over. You do struggle a little bit with some depressive energies around how things are taking just that little bit too much time. More is coming to you. They have like little uplifting things that'll keep popping up like every single week for you. Something that will be encouraging. Like they heard you, like you need more encouragement than you've been receiving, and you will be receiving that encouragement. Work goes well for you. Don't take care of everybody else in order to take and not take care of yourself. You're very prone to it. She who stands resolute, determined. Don't try and gut it out. You're not being threatened, by the way. It's just you're an important person in a lot of things, and you don't think of yourself that way. The conflict with your Ascended Masters, the reason that you're not getting as much information as you used to, they're not gone, but your level of emptiness. You have that energy right now of like, I'm trying, I always try, I'm still trying. And then that little voice, that doubting voice in your head is like, is this all there's going to be? There's going to be a lot more. You are like, just get through the rest of 2021. It's not going to be arduous. There's a lot of releasing energy. Please try to, like, I don't care how you do it. Try to directly communicate with your spirit guides. In fact, on a couple of the, like Amazon Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, search their music. They have a How to Talk to Your Spirit Guide meditation that I particularly like. There are also all over YouTube ways to meet with and to talk to your spirit guides as guided meditations. You can put them on while you're awake or when you go to sleep. And remember, that does not mean you're going to like, oh, I had a dream that I sat down with a bearded man. He told me how to do everything. That's not how it quite works. It can, but what it's more likely to do is you do a guided meditation. I need to meet with my spirit guides. Help me, please direct me. Yoga Nidra is another good one for trying to meet with your spirit guides. You can set the sankalpa, the intention to meet with your spirit guides and receive guidance. And it helps a great deal. And if you don't wake up going, where's my script? Man, they didn't tell me how to do anything. It's not how that works. You will be nudged and guided. It's implanted into your subconscious mind and will guide you throughout the conscious day is how that works. They're right there. You are very prone to just running yourself ragged. And you're kind of like a health nut in so many different ways. But like you compensate for, like, you would be appalled if people you loved treated themselves as badly as you treat yourself sometimes. And you're just being reminded that you have a lot of power over that. Start all over again with like committing to, I will eat leaf greens every day. I will eat fruit every day. I will. And it doesn't mean that you can't ever have a Snickers bar or a Twinkie or a steak or whatever. Like, I clearly don't eat meat, so I have no idea what I'm talking about right now. You can still indulge. It's just make the bulk of your experience be about self-care and maintaining your health. Like, think in a 70-30 percentage. 30% of goofing off time, totally yours, eat Snickers, whatever. 70% try to pay really close attention to getting appropriate amounts of food in, appropriate amounts of water in, and appropriate amounts of rest and time for you. And by the way, when somebody asks you how you are, tell them you're prone to non-reciprocal relationships because you hold too much in. You're a caretaker. So you take care of other people. And so a lot of your friendships turn into projects because of that. You're coming out of a period of stasis. You have achieved individuality and are launching into a different area of your life, your independence. This is my group 3, you have largely healed from codependency. You are out of your little holding pen. And there is apparently something coming up with financial gain. It looks like an offer of some kind to expand. It could be a promotion. It's not happening until 2022, but you are like getting the bones of it within the month of December. And then I've got a couple of indications that even though it is a weird and wild ride for about 3 weeks, towards the end of the month, there is a final budging on the whole idea of like, where's my person? I've been waiting forever and ever. Amen. It wasn't a punishment. And you know this to be true because you've been through very, very difficult things, that once you get through something, you let go of things. Just keep telling yourself, this is not forever. It's not. Even if it feels like it's been going on forever, it's the state of the greater world has exacerbated that and made it feel as if it's like, it's never going to end. It's going to end. It's ending very, very, very soon. The King of Pentacles with the King of So there's 2 King of Pentacles there. Interesting. Okay, keep going. Okay, the stones are wands. Okay, gotcha. All right, here we go. 1 and 2. Spirals are pentacles and ducks, stone or wands. So you have the King of Pentacles in reverse and then the King of Wands in the upright. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Hostilities. It is not you. There's something weird in the world. There's just something weird in the world. Deceit. Well, that's delightful. Envy. Good Lord. Like, A man holding a coin, all tied up. Magician in the mirror. Listen, I have a former narcissist here. These three energies I do not dig, but they're not coming for you. Okay? You're an incredibly protected energy. The conflict in the Ascended Masters, you're being told that there is a conflict around you. There is some anger, there is something going on in the world around you. Now, could it be the greater world, or could it just be your world? It could just be your world. But there's all this negative energy that you're being told that if you keep tapping in, if you keep grounding and shielding, you're very protected from your voice to guide through it. And it will lead you towards your own fulfillment. But you have a tendency when this stuff goes on to back burner, taking care of you, because you're super duper tough. And so you've been used to being able to. There is something happening in a blocked situation in your romantic life. And if you're wondering what the blockage was, it had to do with you accepting part of your path, an expansion around how you view your path. Remember, it's not a profession, it's a purpose. It's not a profession, it's a purpose. And when you're going towards your purpose, your needs are taken care of. And not just your needs. I don't mean you will have enough to eat. Whatever it takes to make you personally happy. You have some conflict and some negative energies of those around you. It could be within a family situation as well. The way that you handle that will show you how much you have grown, how much you have released, and how much you have finally stepped into your individual power. And there is an expansion around that with, you got the Magician in the mirror as well, with your ability to discern, your ability to see, and your ability to manifest. The first 3 weeks of December are a little bit I don't know, cramming for the LSATs or something, because it's as if it's test after test after test. And then you coast beautifully into 2022. Ease is yours again, and increase and joy. And it is not don't think test, oh God, help me, I'm going to be so tired. You're going to be impressed with how everything that you've learned, it's almost like all of the skills you took the time to learn over the last 18 months come to the fore, but you've got multiple, you understand why you were learning those lessons, because it makes things so much easier for yourself, and you see people with greater clarity. You see your purpose with greater clarity. The ability to discern is it's crystal clear at times. It's almost like having a megaphone in your head. But your health has to be maintained. It has to be maintained because you have a much longer journey than you think of yourself as having. And not an arduous one, but you're if you think you're down on the downslope, you're just not. And if you're 78 years old and listening to this and you're no, I'm pretty sure I'm on downslope. Please don't count on that part. Remember, you're protected and provided for, but you're the last person to believe that sometimes, and you run yourself to a frazzled edge because you're hyper responsible. You're just hyper responsible. So make your hyper responsibility for a little bit be about perfect trust, surrender. Use the skills that you have gained through hard work and difficult circumstance at times, and you will have a greater result. Let's go ahead and get a whole bunch of oracle cards to close this out. Let's get a fortune telling card, a fortune reading card. Guess what? I just ordered a new yes and no oracle, which will be a lot of fun because it's got 48 cards, all being able to say yes, no, maybe, indeed, in a variety of ways. So I'm looking forward to doing some yes and no tarot with that as well. Let's go. What do we got for group number 3? An interesting energy. Judgment, soul searching will bring inner peace to many areas of your life. Judgment in the tarot deck is the card for the Archangel Gabriel, is also about enlightenment and purpose and beginning a new cycle. The Judgment card here is about soul searching will bring inner peace to many areas of your life. It's a card about trust, surrender, and purpose. Hey, my lovely collective of high-level manifestors and healers. Everybody's getting the same message. It's go time. It's time to surrender and understand that there has been a purpose to absolutely everything, but please trust. Just please trust. And remember, if you are living in your purpose, if you're going towards your purpose, you are protected. But that health thing, listen, you can get pretty fatigued, so take good care of you. Deception. Someone is wearing a false mask in this relationship. I almost just don't even want to go into it. Do energies repeat and scenarios repeat? Absolutely, yes. Yes, we have energy signatures that have a tendency to repeat. And there has been this weird energy around several of my groups where clarity in a relationship has been difficult to achieve. Engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. That area of your life is finally budging in a very positive way. If you're seeking a partner, if you're already paired up, this is obviously not part of the message for you. If you're not seeking a partner, the divine is never, ever, ever going to force you to have a relationship. And not all divine partnerships are romantic. But you have somebody coming into your life in a very meaningful capacity, and you have been trying to resolve some older issues. And I just went into it with another group. Why do we need to release everything from the past? It's not so that we can be perfect and a completely different version of ourselves. It's so that we can have this wonderful divine pairing that is not encumbered by our scar tissue. We're like, we earned it and it's nothing to be ashamed of, but you're able to examine, understand, and release your pain when you understand the origin of something that is halfway to healing it. A lot of us go towards escapist things to heal our pain. And I have struggled with that in my lifetime as well. Abusing substances to not, because I was badly abused as I've got into, like, pretty much from the day I was born. I'm fine now. I wasn't always. And I did struggle with substance abuse around that, trying to not feel. And what I found is that when I stopped seeking a painkiller and instead looked for the source of the pain to heal it, I no longer needed those painkillers. And that is what the point of releasing the stuff from the past is about. It's so that we don't accidentally fall into a pain numbing pattern in order to maintain relationships, because that is, when you're a healer, you're very prone to codependency. It's normal. It's very normal because you care so much about people. Healers are not actually meant to be alone. They're not. They're meant to have partners. Like we need somebody to recharge us. There we go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And if you are sitting there as the world's most single healer, it's like, yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. Try to trust. What you don't understand is that the thing that comes is so much better than anything that you're envisioning. And it will seem worth the wait. That divine timing, it's, worth waiting for, is part of a healing journey. It's part of everybody's healing journey. And you're actually very, very lucky when you're given the opportunity to heal, resolve, and release so that it doesn't muck up anything any longer. Okay, and I did say muck with an M, by the way, in case I get like a language warning or something. Home, Dragon's Lair, Talisman, Intention, Rescue, Cleaning House. Group number 3, we're going a little deep on releasing of old crap. Cleaning House is getting everything in order. Dragon's Lair is some peril from something in the past. You saw all those deceit, envy, jealousy, blah, 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 blah cards. You're so protected. You're going to be so proud of yourself. You don't need to worry. You're such a pure-hearted person. Your intention protects you a great deal. Is there something coming that is going to challenge that area as well? Yes, it is a slight month of tests leading to graduation at the end of the month. Okay. All right. What else do I have? Anybody else that needs in on this? Did I get your romance angel? I believe it did. Let me check. Oh yes, deception and engagement. How could I forget? Okay. Anybody else? I kind of feel like I want some more here. I want to get a lantern oracle. Check that to see if I got one of those yet. There we go. Got a little discombobulated by your energy cards, group number 3. You're always my trauma processing group, which is not to say that if you're always drawn to group number 3, it's like, oh my God, it must be a mess. No, you've got a lot of divine assistance. Your healing is being prioritized. It's not a punishment. It's about, you have a big job to do if you're in group number 3. Weeping wound, you are not your wounds. Past work, my friends, past work, it's almost over forever. Okay. All right, let's go. What else we got? Did I get you yet? No. Let's go for a fortune reading card. You guys are graduating. That doesn't mean you're leaving me, I hope. Although that can happen. We move on to different collectives. There we go. And I would miss anybody who left, but I hope new people would come as well. Let's go for group number 3. My graduation day, group number 3. Patience, slow down, change your attitude, and clear your mind. All right, so apparently the word of the month is patience. Patience is peace. Patience is power. Patience is the ability to manifest with the details intact because you have no resisting energy. Patience is part of surrender. Patience is part of trust. Patience is the cure for anxiety. Patience is the cure for fear. Patience is the most powerful thing you can inhabit. And so whenever anybody has one of those, you say the word patience and they're like, oh, it's like, okay, you're reacting with impatience to the idea of patience. That is the exact opposite of what patience is. And once you have achieved patience, you have achieved power. All right, let's check your, did I get you already? All right, let's go for the magical messages from fairies. They're not really fairies, they're spirits of air. Don't call them fairies. Why? They can kick your butt. All right, here we go. Respect them always. Sincerely, never do magic you don't understand. It's very, 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 very important. I keep being told I need to teach magic, and I will get around to it. Perfect timing. This is the right time for you to move forward. It's almost over. It is finals. December is like finals week for you, my friends. All right. And you have get more information from your angel answers card. Tap in, spend a lot of time taking care of you, spend a lot of time taking care of your physical house, your emotional house, your spiritual house, ground and shield, ground and shield, ground and shield. It's very important for empaths. And know that, like I said, you're launching. All right, that was group number 3. I will see you in January of 2022. Well, very tail end of December, but it will be for the January report. We're going on to group number 4. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. If you liked the reading, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. This is the Mystical Moments Tarot. Remember, it has 2 kings in every suit, a feminine and a masculine king. So it can get a little funky when reading it, but I choose it for a reason. I choose whatever decks call out for the different piles. It's the She-Who Oracle. We're dealing with a lot of matriarchal, maternal, and empress type of energy in the month of December. She who regrets, battle, victory, and bitterness. Let's hope it improves from here. Timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast. Remember, every challenge you are made stronger in order to face it, and we'll find out what's coming up with that. I have increase. Angels of the 4 directions. I think my entire collective is leveling up this month. A leg up. All right, and observer, a leg up. Shine your light. Yeah. Discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Battle. Victory. Cactus Wren. Turn your enmity to your advantage. Oh, righteous rage. I wonder what's going to happen. Let's find out. Horseman, herald of change. Getting a little quiet here because this is a lot. Let's get the angel answers card and the fortune cookie card down. It didn't flip in my face, which means I'm not supposed to include it. I was supposed to in the last group. Everybody in that group knows why. Cobra, change is inevitable, but with it comes the chance to shed a burden. Be of service. All right, let's get going on this big changes. A little bit of a battle. Your time on the sidelines is almost over. You have energetic assistance and guidance. Don't second guess it. You do that a lot. I'll take a sip of water. All right, let's go. Let's go. What's going on for group number 4? Hey, interesting, challenging month. Every single group got warnings around their health. Please take very good care of your physical health, everybody. Okay. Okay. Take good care of you. You deserve it. Let's go for group number 4, please. Oh, what's happening in December of 2021 for my collective? Things are easing. Things are changing. Things are manifesting. The 7 of Swords in the upright. It's a lies, deceit, manipulation card. It is also temporary situations. I need to tread carefully. Queen of Cups in the upright. It can be Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, but it is more likely about this like caretaking, nurturing, happiness sort of thing. More times, please. Why are there so many cards about deceit this month? 7 of Wands. Oh, good. It's a 7/7 download. King of Pentacles in reverse. 9 of Cups in reverse. The Magician in the upright. Someone, I love this Magician. It's so beautiful. Okay. 2 Cups in the upright. Temperance in reverse. Watch your health. Temperance in the upright is robust physical health. Listen, I like this. This isn't, I'm not trying to make anything political. I'm just not a political person. I read cards and I care about people. And it's kind of that simple. But there is a new variant of COVID that like I accidentally did start predicting like last May. And it didn't show up in this month. So I don't think last month when I was doing the monthly read, I was like, oh, hey, I was picking this up for months. It's not in here. Yay. And I have a feeling it's because my collective is a very protected group. But it looks like whatever is going down is going to run other people down because we're the caretakers, we're the healers. We have a tendency to be the fixers. 10 of Pentacles in the upright, that could be locked down. It doesn't have to be. 7 of Cups in the upright. You got a lot of 7s. Things being up in the air, plans being made. Ace of Pentacles in the upright. I like that. New jobs, greater success. The beginning of, could be the beginning of a relationship. Could be the beginning of a relationship as well. King of Swords in reverse, yet another lies card. 10 of Wands in reverse. King of Swords in the upright, clarity, truth, strength. You got the 2 kings, the 1 in reverse, and then 1 in the upright. In the head and the heart battle, always go with the head. Keep a cool mindset around things. Like there could be people who are really coming from a very emotional and reactive place. Keep your head. And it's not that there's like a catastrophe. There's not. Like I don't have a tower. There's none of them have gotten towers, but there's a lot of change and a lot of warnings around health for next month. The Lovers in reverse. Okay, choosing. Interesting. Page of Pentacles in the upright. The King of Wands in the upright. Judgment in the upright. Well, that's a really good Judgment. That's a beautiful card. I have not seen that before. Judgment. Almost everybody got Judgment. That's a card of purpose, of things being revealed, the start of new cycles as well. 8 of Cups in reverse. Blocked travel has shown up for everybody as well. Queen of Swords in reverse with the 10 of Cups in the upright as well. Knight of Wands in reverse. Yeah, there's blocked travel for some reason. Okay, group number 4. I actually really like the energy around you because you're like keeping your head when other people are losing theirs. You're the person standing out as like not coming from a reactive place amongst reactive people. This is very much in a work environment as well. As long as you keep calm in the face of a couple of difficulties, like you're going to feel like you were like carried like fragile crate to your next destination. Like you really will feel coddled in a really good way if you can just trust your own direction as some things go a little bit wonky around you. This really is in a professional setting, but it's a good, successful energy for you. Multiple warnings around health again. Okay, let's go. But you're like, this is effortless for you. It's very interesting. It's almost like the culmination of something that you have been anticipating anyway. You're proven right, and it gives you this clear-eyed, like laser missile type of focus. With that King of Swords in the upright. Yeah, okay. Something about this entire situation frees you to act. You don't have the conflict cards that the other groups did. Everybody else had some very interesting cards as well, but yours really leaned in heavily on the deceit cards. Okay, slow and steady. It's trusting the process, just allowing things to take the time. Like there is a disappointment, I believe it is in multiple areas of your life. And it is a disappointment to others, but as you are able to kind of keep your head, the solution comes to you, like you shine very easily. It's a little bit like, it's almost like a synchronicity, like when you're like, oh, look, 222 again, they're talking to me. And instead it's going to be the ease with which a solution comes to you will like really reinforce a feeling of like, I am not in this alone. And the people around you are not going to be reacting that well. It's the thing. Deep freeze, slow and steady, deep freeze. Details. Home. I want one more on that. Cleaning house. You're able to solve a problem through a process. It involves another person, somebody you've been previously close to. I don't have romance on this particular one. You're able to make things happen. An opportunity presents itself to change the way something is done in a work setting. And you rise to that occasion. Stay calm. Remember the slow, steady, deep freeze. Details, home and cleaning house. Get organized. Have faith in yourself. And know that you already possess the knowledge that you need to resolve a problem. And like, just trust that part, You're also the only group that's not getting a ton of surrender cards. So you must have already achieved that. Good for you. The Two of Cups in the upright is your internal influence. That is a connection to another person. Emotional healing. As your heart heals of old emotional pain, you receive new blessings and love. I'm going to get one more for this particular group from this deck. Okay, 1 and 2. A Magician card with that Two of Cups. I love it. Sun. Your son is watched over and protected as he explores this world. This does not have to be literal. This can be a new idea because the pages represent suns quite frequently. It can be a new idea, the start of something. It can be a new project. It can be a literal boy. It can be a literal son. It can also be a younger male relative that you have to talk out of doing something, and that's around the holidays. That's for a very hyper specific. Remember, general readings are going to have a lot of different messages. It's a nephew. It's a nephew. You need to talk your nephew out of doing something. It's right before Christmas. It's a little high risk. They trust you though. He trusts you. All right, let's go. And you'll be able to, keep a very cool head. Keep a very cool head. That's why he listens to you, is you're not reactive when it comes to him. Women supporting women, wisdom in play. Together we can transcend our individual limitations, and wisdom in play. Our intuition knows more than we do. It's almost like there's like a non-profit energy around something, and like there's a grant to be applied for or something, because there is a detail that like your experience and knowledge will solve a problem in a work setting. And then this wisdom in play, our intuition knows more than we do. Stop second guessing the first thought that comes into your mind. That's your intuition. The second guessing is anxiety. Anxiety and intuition come from completely different areas of our emotional response system. And chakras. This is your third chakra, third eye chakra. That's where intuition really has its power. And then your root chakra at the base of your spine is where security issues are. Anxiety is related to security issues. It's about fear. Intuition is about guidance. And the way to tell the difference, and I've said this before, and I will likely say it again, is the way to tell the difference between your intuition and your anxiety is your anxiety will freak you out. That's what it's there to do. It will frighten you. It will like invent problems and make you question, will I ever have a solution? Whereas your intuition gives you information, and it gives you certainty and surety and that feeling of conviction. And the thing that comes in afterwards, it says, but what if? That's your anxiety. Shed anxiety, and your intuition has been guiding you accurately all along. It's just that you were taught not to have as much faith in yourself as you should. And so you second guess it. Let's go. What have I got for the fortune reading card? I'm going to get some energy cards, some enchanted map cards. I'll get a romance angel as well, because you do have 2 cups in your internal influence, which is a soulmate connection. Not all soulmates are romantic. There we go. They can be, of course. Observer and a leg up. There is also a situation. There's this lies card here that I'm really lion. Harness the loyal and protective aura of the lion and charge ahead magnificently. World. Be open to new possibilities in all areas of your life. Something's happening in your life that freaks everybody out around you. And if you can dig deep and just be like, I got this. I am not alone. I can trust myself. I have gotten myself through many a difficulty. Then the answer comes to you. And the only danger here, and like just pay attention to it, is don't second guess it. Go with your instincts. You are guided. That leg up, the observer. Angels of the 4 directions and increase. You will have increased guidance throughout this. And then this energy with battle, victory, and it has the word bitterness on it. I'm getting nothing else about that. There's a slight, I don't want to say fight because that's too negative, but there's a need to strengthen your resolve to fix something and know that you can. It's just like a test of your faith. Everybody in my collective has also been like, hey, you'll be tested here, you'll be tested there. It is like everybody's graduating. All right, here we go. Let's get some energy cards as well. Turn it to your advantage. Your advantage. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. You're good about that, though. You're not somebody who like chatters to fill in empty space. Stop and listen. Bide your time. There's a piece of information that you can expand upon, and it will bring you a solution. Okay. Interesting month. No concern. It's very interesting for like December. Maybe it's just not important information. I got like nothing on families and gatherings, but I got a whole bunch around like, hey, take good care of your health. Take good care of your health for every single group. So please take good care of your health. Here we go. Let's go for group number 4, please. What do they need to know from the energy oracle? Okay. 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, door to value. This is divine guidance. A man holding a heart, strategy. Hostilities again. I'm putting that one back. It's just been a little bit of like, it's been haunting this overall collective read for the month of December. It does not appear to be personal in most people's lives. It is an exterior factor, almost like it's a challenge. It's like a challenge course. I swear I said something about grants before. Door to value with strategy. It's like there's something that can be applied for that solves a problem. Did I already get you? Yes, I did. Can I get a lantern oracle for group number 4, please? I feel like there's more information on that. What's it about? Okay. No concerns over your physical health, but the people around you just like really take very good care of yourself. Maybe it's just that we're headed into cold and flu season, and it's like, yeah, December, you're always going to get a ton of health ones. Everybody's in enclosed spaces, and we've all got colds. All right. Oh, wait, I already got these for you. But inner integration, there is place, equilibrium, and fulfillment in integrating the inner wild and the taming of tempering effect life has on us. This is taking all your experience into one place to like find the resolve, to find the answer as well. Sorry, I didn't mean to go to that again. Clearly, I'm a little bit like, what's going to happen? And so I'm trying to find more answers. Can I get, is there anything else, or is this like, you're like, no, you're not allowed to know because this is part of like your evolution? And does that happen? Yeah. We want more answers. We want like a roadmap to life. We do. I would spoil the heck out of my life if they'd let me, but they won't. Like I'm down to like one person who can read for me. There we go. And why? Because I have anxiety. I just need to know. And I have an anxiety disorder because of, childhood, blah, 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 blah. Everybody knows my story. Or if you don't, just trust that I have it for a reason. I have a general anxiety disorder. I don't medicate it or anything, but it is something that I have to work with almost every day with inner work. Your wish is granted. What you've asked for is coming true. Granted, grant. There's something about a grant. Let's get a romance angel as well. Here we go. All right. Okay. Can we get a romance angel for group number 4? They had a 2 of cups in their internal influence. 2 more times. 1 and 2. I'm gonna get like I'm going for a little bit more on you because there's I have deception. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Remember, these can just function like tarot cards. You're going to be guided. And there is this deception energy that came up over and over and over again in that group. And I didn't get a detail on it, but what I did get was please trust your instincts, your intuition, you are being guided. Okay. All right, let's go for a fairy oracle. They're not really fairies, they're spirits of air. Yes, I have to say that at this point. I'm going to get a message from Spooky at the end here. There I guess Spooky is my divine message deck. Doesn't really read like a tarot deck any longer. I want to see if there's anything in closing to be said. Look in a book. Whatever your question right now, you'll find the answer in a book. The words you find will bring the insight you seek. This is about information being helpful as well. Let's go Spooky. All right, is there anything you want to add for this group? Is there anything you want to add? Because like that was a lot of like, I felt incomplete information around some kind of test. Let's go. No, seriously? I do talk to this deck. I do talk to this deck almost exactly as if it's a person because it's a direct, it's how I can speak very directly to what I'm connected to, what I channel for, which is the spirit of air. And it spits out these cards that then kind of form a narrative. And so it's one of the ways that like my conduit can then speak directly to my clients. 2 of Wands in the upright with the 10. Okay. Thank you. 10 of Pentacles in reverse with the 9 of Cups in the upright. So the 9 of Cups is about wish fulfillment, wishes granted, wishes being granted. This is about money and insecurity around it, but a wish being granted and plans being made around it. Something looks like it is, there's a new beginning if you just stop and get the details, and there's a way to fix something that is like that deception card came out over and over and over again. I'm not, because it's some kind of like, this is part of your purpose, this is part of your path, they're not going to give you the blow by blow on it. But please just remember that if something looks like it is a, like, oh, there's no way we're ever going to get through this, what's going to happen? Know that that's not the truth of the matter. And the person who might be representing it that way may know that because the deception card was in like 4 or 5 different places. By the way, kind of haunted this read a little bit. Recovery. That's your angel answers card. The premise behind that is if you have a question that I did not ask, then hopefully, or answer, this card will do so. And then society. Say yes to all the wonderful invitations coming your way. Excellent networking opportunities and new love interests for singles will be the result. It says 0 gatherings. It could be society as a greater whole is having some kind of like conflict. And I don't mean like armed conflict. It's just there's some kind of like cooler heads will prevail energy around that. And you're somebody who keeps a cool head pretty well. Group number 4, like despite like needing to go after answers, like you're sitting pretty in that energy. There's stuff going on around you, but like you're the calm at the center of a storm. Keep that part in mind, okay? All right, everybody, that was the Spirit Guide Monthly for December of 2021. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you at the very end of December for January of 2022 for the Spirit Guide Weekly. I have a video coming out on Monday, Spill the Tea, who's talking about me. I have some other videos coming up for how to surrender, a couple of other things as well. Hey, if you have any requests, don't forget to drop it in the comment section down below. I'm sorry I'm a week behind on my comments again. I promise I'll get to them this weekend, okay? Take care, be well. Thank you so much for joining me. And